Good morning students. I hope you all have gone through the last video and read your book where we studied about reproduction in plants, where you learnt about what is reproduction and modes of reproduction. As I told you, there are two modes of reproduction, asexual and sexual reproduction. Today you will learn about asexual reproduction. The process in which only one parent is involved in the production of new individuals of the same kind is called asexual reproduction. In plants, asexual reproduction results in the formation of offspring or new plants without seeds. Asexual reproduction in plants occurs through the following methods: vegetative propagation, budding, fragmentation, and spore formation. So let's begin with vegetative propagation. As the name suggests, this type of reproduction takes place with the help of vegetative parts of the plant. Only one parent can produce the identical offspring in vegetative propagation. Natural means of vegetative propagation. So we'll start with vegetative propagation by roots. Plants that have tuberous roots, that is, roots which are used as a storage organ in plants, participate in vegetative propagation. In order to grow new plants, these tuberous roots are sown in the soil. There are buds present on the fruits that grow above the ground and a new plant is formed. Example, in sweet potato and dahlia, you can see the diagram over here. Vegetative propagation by stem. Stem tubers. Just like tuberous roots, some plants have tuberous stem. This stem tubers store the nutrients and bear nodes. These nodes bear buds that form the new plants. Example, potato. You can see here the diagram of the potato. If the potato is cut into pieces, each with an eye, and planted in the soil, the cut parts with eye grow into a new potato plant. You might have seen in your houses the potato, after being kept in your house for few days, the buds grow, and if these cut pieces are taken and put in the soil, they grow into a new plant. Runners. Some plants grow along the ground and contain modified stems called runners. These runners contain buds that can produce roots and stem. Example, in case of strawberry. Vegetative propagation by leaves. The leaves of some plant produce buds in the margin of the leaves. When these leaves get detached from the plant and fall on the moist soil, their buds give rise to a new plant that you can see in case of Biophyllum and Begonia. Here you can see the diagram, and about this also you have read in lower classes. Now, artificial means of vegetative propagation. There are many, like stem cutting, by layering, by grafting, but in your book it's only given about stem cutting, so let us read about that. New plants are obtained from the stem of an existing plant by the method of cutting. In this method, the small part of the stem is removed by making a cut with a sharp knife. The stem cutting must have some buds on it. Now the lower end of stem cutting is buried in the moist soil. The upper part of the cutting have bud on it is kept above the soil. After few days, this cutting develops new roots. The bud grows and produces a shoot, that is, branches with leaves. Thus, a new plant is produced which is exactly similar to the parent plant. Example, rose, champa, grapes, sugarcane, banana, cactus, etc. are grown by cutting method. So you can see the stem cutting diagram over here. We normally in our houses, we take cuttings of rose and hibiscus and grow them and put them in the soil, and they grow into a new plant. Advantages of vegetative propagation. Plants produced with vegetative propagation takes less time to grow and bear flower and fruits earlier than those produced from seeds. The new plants are the exact copy of parent plant because they are produced from a single parent. So now we will study about budding. Yeast is an organism that contains a single cell. It is a fungi, not a plant. It can propagate every few hours if the proper amount of nutrients are available to it. As the yeast finds favorable condition, a small bulb-like projection produces from the yeast called bud. The bud grows gradually and then gets detached from the parent yeast. This new cell then grows and produces more cells. Sometimes a chain of buds is formed which leads to the production of a large number of yeast altogether. Now you can see the diagram how a parent plant develops a bud, and that bud grows into a new yeast cell and get detached from the parent cell, and then you can have separate yeast cells, and here down you can see a chain of buds. The next is fragmentation. Children, you may have seen slimy green patches floating on the surface of stagnant water bodies like ponds, ditches and lakes. The green patches are the algae. Algae reproduce by a sexual method of fragmentation. It can be seen in an alga like Spirogyra. So, algae like Spirogyra generally reproduce by the process of fragmentation in which they divide themselves into multiple parts. When the Spirogyra, after getting mature, they break up into 2 or more fragments, and each fragment then grows and forms new Spirogyra. The process of reproduction is known as fragmentation. So as soon as the algae finds enough water and nutrient, it fragments and grows into a new individual. This process continues and algae multiply quickly in a very short period of time. In Spirogyra, this process of reproduction continues so fast that a large number of new Spirogyra are produced in a very short period of time and cover a large area of water in the water bodies. So this is the diagram given fragmentation in algae. Let us read about spore formation. You have already earlier learnt about the fungi on bread. Grow from spores which are present in the air. These spores are very light and can move up to long distances. They keep floating in the air when released. So some plants contain spores that float in the air and cause asexual reproduction. A spore has a hard covering which protects it from the unfavorable environmental conditions like temperature and humidity. As a result, the spores can travel long distances and survive for a long duration of time. As soon as they find favorable conditions such as moisture and nutrients, they germinate and form new plants. For example, moss and ferns propagate in this way. So you can see this spore formation in fungus which grows on the bread. It is also called as bread mold. So that's all for today. Thank you.